And we all are very fortunate to be joined by Sebastian Bellin and also my colleague, Vladimir Dutier. Welcome to you both, but especially to you, Seb.
Thank you.
We've seen your journey. It's been a part of our 8 months here at CBS News. But the last 8 months for you, physically, mentally, emotionally, what have they been?
Yeah, well, there's a few milestones in there.
Yeah.
You know, they're off the top of my head. It's getting out of the hospital after 3 months. It's walking after 4 months. There's so many milestones that teach you. There's still so many milestones that frustrate you as well. You know, but there's a lot of help. There's a lot of wonderful people, you know, along the way that you meet.
Yeah.
And
for me, I know this. We've talked about this, Seb. You know, when I met you, there's this picture of me and like sitting at your bedside, and you're smiling at me the way you are right now, and I'm like, because even 48 hours after he'd been in the most horrific circumstance than any of us can imagine, he was positive. He wasn't self-pitying. He wasn't bitter. He wasn't angry at the perpetrators. Josh, you and I have covered terrorist attacks for a long time. I had never met anybody like this who'd gone through something like this, and it was the way that he was just enveloped me, and it's been that way ever since.
As a professional athlete, I would imagine, on one hand, it helps in terms of recovery. You're used to the rigors, after all, of a daily existence. But also, you're used to being good at things physically. What was that like?
That's a great question. And you know, like Vlad was touching on it, when something like this happens to you, there's just, it's overwhelming. There's just so much to overcome. There's the physical side, the emotional side, the mental side, your family, I mean, your job. You know, there's so many things that play into having to overcome. And so you gotta prioritize. And you know, as an athlete, you gotta make a game plan. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tackle everything at once? Well, it's not very productive. So the first thing I realized was, one, you know, it's gonna be a really tough road. But that's all right. You know, we like tough things, and when you overcome something tough, the quality of your life gets richer. So I told myself, look, first you gotta stay positive, you know, and you gotta find the motivation. So it's my kids. It's being able to share a positive message. When you see you affect somebody in a positive way, well, it gives you energy, and that energy, then you recycle it into your own day-to-day to overcome these things. And so it's, you know, for me, I realized very soon that the physical side was really the first step. You know, being able to walk, being able to get back on my own 2 feet, literally. And at the same time, it's humbling, because, you know, to learn to walk again after you've been a professional athlete, that's not the easiest thing.
And yet it cannot be overstated how remarkable it is that here we are 8 months later, and you walked in here, and really, if you didn't know what you were looking for, you wouldn't know, perhaps, that something had happened for you. We are flanked over here by a beautiful family. What were they for you?
Sarah wave, hello. Cecilia, Vanessa, hello.
Yeah, well, that's my motivation. You know, for every one of those milestones I was talking about, that is, you know, Cecilia's birthday is on July 22nd. And that was exactly 4 months after the attack. So I told myself, when they told me I wouldn't walk for over a year, I said, well, let's try to do it in four months on her birthday. And so these are all motivations that you give yourself, you know, as goals, as targets. And it's a lot easier when you're working towards something than just kind of, you know, going about it with no.
Come here, family. I need to borrow the Bellin family.
Come on in.
Including the birthday girl.
Come here.
So, because this is a question for everybody. This is a question for the family, Bellin, or Bellin. What's next? What are the next 8 months going to bring for all of you?
Well, listen, there's definitely your life, your perspective of life changes. You know, so we really enjoy life. I am writing a book. You know, Cecilia's going to write it with me.
Good.
Right? or at least take the pictures.
Spell everything wrong.
Yes. That's the least of my worries.
I already told you you're probably using like giant words.
Giant words. We'll make sure they're all spelled properly.
He'll use autocorrect.
I'm not capable of giant words. You know that.
Hey,
I appreciate
Vlad,
it.
can you slip that your
I can.
microphone off? Just,
Yeah.
what's this been like for you?
Obviously, like I stated before, it felt like the rug was pulled right out from underneath you. But the fact that he survived, that's what I've been trying to focus on, and just continuing to heal and move on. But it's been off. I mean, there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
We still have moments where we think about what happened, and watching the documentary Saturday, it brought back some stuff that I've been trying to push down. But I mean, the fact that he's here, and we're just trying to move on and stay positive.
It's very clear that you see this as a chance to use this as a force for good and for change. And I cannot imagine what it must have been like for you and for the family. What a beautiful picture this is, even with Vlad in it.
I know.
Which is,
I'm ruining the picture. I'm sorry.
Vanessa, not looking.
Vanessa,
right.
we can see you over
We
there.
can see you anyway.
And we're very happy that you came in too. I know, it's a little
Well,
early.
it actually feels good that to have Vlad here, because I grew up with only brothers, and so now that I only live with 3 girls, actually that's a funny story. One of the injuries that I had was I lost 50% of my hearing in my left ear. Wow. But I found that injury to be so useful when you're living with 3 girls. Like, I don't hear you.
The
I'm
card
sorry.
you can play forever.
Whining, the scream.
Hey,
And that's just
thank you so much for being
my
here.
pleasure.
Listen, it was just superb reporting on my colleague's part, and to bring your story to us, but really to have lived it. We thank you for everything that all of you have done. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And happy birthday.
And my birthday was
A little late. I'm sorry. A little late.